So just a couple of housekeeping announcements. James is going to mute the non-speakers, and when it's your turn to speak, you'll be unmuted. There'll be some Q&A today at various points, so James will show you how to put questions in the chat function, and those questions will be read out to the relevant speaker or panellist. Looks like people are coming into the session now, so I think without any further ado, we'll get started. Welcome everyone. It's good to see you all this morning as part of the Digital Innovation Festival. And this session is the Digital Revolution put on by Northlink and its North and West Melbourne Data Analytics Hub. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge that this event and participants are taking place on the lands of traditional owners and custodians. In my case, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge the following persons. Firstly, the Honourable Jane Garrett, MLC, the Parliamentary Secretary for Jobs in the Victorian Government. Chris Dowling, Executive Director, Telecommunications and Digital Economy, Victorian Department of Jobs Precincts and Regions. Our keynote speaker, Stephen Rue, Chief Executive Officer of NBN Co. NBN Co is a very much valued partner of the Data Analytics Hub. I'd also like to acknowledge speakers and panellists. They'll be introduced formally ahead of their sessions, and also partners of the North and West Melbourne Data Analytics Hub. And James will put those up on the board shortly. I'd particularly like to mention how proud we are to be part of the Victorian Government's Digital Innovation Festival. This is the third year in a row that we've been part of this festival. It's enabled us to talk about our work as the Data Analytics Hub, but it's also enabled us to learn a lot from the participants and work closely with the Victorian Government in terms of its digital agenda, but also highlight the work of our partners as well. The Hub was founded in 2018. Initially, it was funded by the Department of Education and Training's Workforce Training Innovation Fund. It filled a number of needs. Firstly, the need for work experience for data analytics and IT students. We did find there was and still is a skill shortage for good data analytics professionals. A lot of the graduates were very good at crunching data, but needed that workplace experience to be effective in the workplace upon graduation. So we've been able to provide placements for a great many of them. We also found that particularly in the northern and western suburbs of Melbourne, traditional manufacturing areas that are transitioning to advanced manufacturing, knowledge industries and services, businesses and other organisations needed all the help they could get with digital and data upskilling. So what we found with the Hub was a really good marriage, bringing together students with an expertise in the area that needed experience backed by their universities and TAFEs, and also businesses that needed that knowledge. And the Hub has been highly successful over its 3 years of life so far. We've put almost 450 students through the Hub with around 170 projects, about 100 employers, private sector, not-for-profit, local government, around about 100 training and professional development events, a number of job outcomes out of the Hub, and a number of great case studies as well, which sit on our website. And one of those, just to name one, was one where students went into an allied health provider, a not-for-profit. They were wanting to know whether to lease or purchase a car fleet. The students were able to help them make that decision and save them a hell of a lot of money that went into the care of patients. The clear thing coming through with the hub and with the businesses that we've helped is that the motto is no data, no decision, or at least no data, no quality decision. So I'm pleased to say that the hub does continue past the government support period. It is independent and self-sustaining, and we're planning on continuing it for a great many years to come. It's now part of the session where I have the great pleasure of introducing Victorian Government's Parliamentary Secretary for Jobs, Jane Garrett. Jane has been a long time friend and supporter of Northlink. Jane has been based in the northern suburbs for a long time, was born and raised in the inner north, studied law and arts, and was admitted to legal practice in 2000, where she specialised in IR and discrimination law. Many of you may remember Jane as the Mayor of Yarra City Council, a council in Melbourne's north, where she was elected in 2008 and became Mayor in 2010. Jane was elected to the lower house of the State Parliament for the seat of Brunswick in 2010, initially served as Shadow Cabinet Secretary, and after the Andrews government took power in 2014, was administering various portfolios, including emergency services, consumer affairs, gaming and liquor regulation. She held that post until 2016, was elected to the upper house in 2018 and was appointed Parliamentary Secretary for Jobs in the re-elected Andrews government. Without any further ado, I'll hand over to Jane to make some welcoming remarks.
Thanks so much, Chris, and I'd like to join you in acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands on which we're all meeting virtually from, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And I'd like to acknowledge Chris James, our ED here, who has a long and very proud history of innovation and leadership in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. And how wonderful to have Stephen Rue here as the CEO of the NBN Co to give you some face-to-face or virtual face-to-face information, guidance and answer questions. It's incredibly exciting, and well done Northlink for once again putting on an outstanding event, particularly as part of Digital Innovation Festival here in Victoria. And as I think we all feel in Victoria when we're in some hard times at the moment, and look to hope and look to the strengths in our community, of which there are many and varied, one of those strengths is our incredible cutting edge approach to digital innovation. And this is happening at the state level in terms of literally billions of dollars from the government going into a range of fantastic streams aimed to encourage and enhance our digital capabilities and our entrepreneurship and our amazing forefront technology. And what we've learnt over those years, and certainly what Northlink is absolutely on top of already, is the best way in which we can create digital change, digital innovation, is when we look at the very local level as well as the top of the tree level, and when we partner up. And so when you have your universities working with your businesses, who are working with your entrepreneurs, who are working with your students, who are working with your communities, sharing those ideas, coming together, learning from each other, is when you get the most exciting outcomes. And this is a very embodiment of this today. and in fact what the Digital and Analytics Hub is all about as part of Northlink. And so for all of those who are on this call, and hopefully we will at one point be back together again, but who are on this call, and we're on these calls because we are in the middle of another digital revolution in terms of how we've had to function and how we have to deliver services and grow as businesses, as universities, as TAFEs and as local economies. So I think for everyone on this call and those your friends and your colleagues and people you know in your industries, this is a real welcome mat to help you work out what you can do to enhance your companies, your organisations, your institutions, service delivery, learning and engagement. So I'm really pleased that you're all on here. I think it's wonderful, again, as I said, that you can hear direct from the NBN CEO about how NBN Co and how digital enhancements can turn around what you're doing or enhance what you're doing. I know that the Northlink and the Hub has already helped service some 100 enterprises in the area and had great successful results there. So it is very exciting. I think you're going to have a terrific day. And most importantly, there's results on the board here that you can see, that you can learn from, and there's people here who can help you achieve those yourself. The panel's going to be expert and interesting, and often the most critical part, as we know of any forum, is the capacity for you to have your voice and hear back answers to the questions that make the most sense and are the most pertinent to you. So I really want to congratulate Northlink again for all the work that they do, for NBN to be here, for the panel members, but most importantly for those who've joined. This is a really great step towards an even better outcome for the work that you do. So I hope you have a wonderful day and I look forward to hearing how successful it's been. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jane, and it's really great to see you and appreciate your support.